The Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno says he has concluded plans to join the All Progressives Congress APC in no distant time. He has reportedly mandated his commissioners and other appointees to either join him in the APC or resign if they are not comfortable with his decision. A government house source who confirmed the development said the governor broke the news during the State Executive Council meeting on Thursday. The source who pleaded anonymity said Governor Eno warned his appointees that he had nothing to negotiate with them other than for them to follow him or leave. And standing by virtually to have a discussion with us on APC Total State Takeover New Defection norm is the President, ICU Group Nationwide, Honorable Chizi Nyeomasila. Good evening, Honorable Chizi. Thanks for joining us on Politicals this evening.
Yes, good evening, and good evening, Nigerians.
Oh, okay. There's been a wave of defection from all other political parties in Nigeria to the ruling APC party, the party at the central. At some point, it was like the body language of some PDP governors was suggesting them moving over to APC. Nobody was certain about that of the Delta State governor until what appeared to be a tsunami sweeping him, his ESCO, and his predecessor to APC before we could say Jack. And the statements of the Akwa Ibom State governor at that time, just before what appears to be like a confirmation, where it is on the news that a threat was passed to his commissioners. You either join me to defect to APC or you resign. Now, recently, there was a defection, a mass defection, sort of some National Assembly members to APC from various parties, notably Labour Party and PDP. And so the question really, I just need to get your own point of view about the whole thing about defecting to the ruling APC party. Do you think that this is a sign of ideological alignment, or would you say that it's just political survival, as we have always believed in this part?
Well, good evening again. I want to say openly, I'm one person that do not hide my feelings the way it is. I'm a member of the APC, so it would have ordinarily have mean that I will be happy, of course, for us to continue to win election. This is a good this for the party. But I can tell you that this is a clear acceptance of the politicians' lack ideological disposition. That's exactly what it means. People were voted from a political party, and it's supposed to mean that that they had an ideology by which they got into a political party and was elected, to govern the people based on that ideological party. So for me, it's looking like a betrayal of that trust. So it's more of a political survival than it is an ideological leading. Because when did the ideologies change? What have you done? This ideology, for instance, is canvassed by the party at the national level. It's supposed to be executed at the state level. And if you feel you're doing well by that ideology, you are also sure that in 2027 you'll be elected based on what you have done. But the campaign going, of course, I give it to them. You have a freedom of association. I mean, a man can decide to jump to a particular place, especially when he or she feels that the ship is sinking. But these persons involved in this, especially in the because of that supposed party, which is supposed to be the PDP, or whichever party they are coming from, to say, look, the man who is here today as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you remember he was the only survivor of a political party. In 2003, he survived that and stayed on that party because of his own ideological position that he has taken as a person. And so he built that ideological position until now he came and became the president. So why are you now abandoning your own ideological position? It means that you didn't have one in the first instance. Again, going to a situation where you go to the State Executive Council to announce that it is either you follow me to this political party or you resign your position. For me, that again shows some kind of, are you not saying that because you have chosen or you have chosen to belong to another left, that other people must follow you? That is not, for me, that is forcing the people. Of course, but of course he has given them also a little way to resign. So whether they were doing well or they weren't doing well as commissioners, it matters less. What matters is political survival. I think I have some, we need to continue to interrogate such audacity. I do not like it. The man who is commissioner, you are governor, does not mean that you are better than that commissioner. In fact, he should be a better person if what governance means is, my definition of governance or giving quality governance is that your advisor should be better than you. That those commissioners should be better than him, and so it means that he is not judging them now based on performance or impact. He's judging them based on political survival and affiliations.
Honorable Chizi, some school of thought have it that the multiple some school of thought have it actually that the defectors were allegedly approached with mouth-watering offers. I'm talking of them bribes and the rest of it, and also, and this is aimed at helping, or rather improving the chances of the current president to get into his second term in 2027. And now it questions the actual motive behind this particular defection. What would you say about these claims?
Maybe you may just come again on the claim. I didn't get that claim quite clearly. He said, what's the claim? I've got everything actually he said, but apart from the claim, that they claim that there's a watering.
Exactly. That some school of thought have it that some of these defectors are being approached with mouth-watering offers. Can you hear me?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Now, the question will be, what will be the mouth-watering approach you will give to a sitting governor? I want to ask a governor, for instance, let me use two governors that I know, the governor of Delta State and the governor of Akwa Ibom State, for instance. Is the president going to say that he's going to hand them over the presidency? Because that's the only watering bribe. If there's anything like that could be given to them, what will be? Are you saying that you are going to make them the president just after you? Or what will be it? Now, let me tell you something. Nobody can win an election without a cross-party voting. So it matters less whether you are a PDP or you're an APC. If the president is performing well, you can vote for him in an election, because apart from the party, we will look at the nation first. If President Tinubu is performing very well and the Akwa Ibom people want to vote to President Tinubu, it does not matter whether you leave your own party or not. Is it irrespective of that? There's nothing that says you must leave your political party. So what will be the mouth-watering influence that will come? Will they give the president Akwa Ibom State governor? See, there are countries in this world that is as populated and as resourceful just like Akwa Ibom, and they are still countries, they are surviving. So I can partner with, after all, it's just party affiliations. I can partner with the president and whosoever, whether I'm in party A or Z. It doesn't live where I was voted for.
Your point is that is that that claim is unfounded, right?
Very unfounded.
Okay.
Very unfounded.
I understand you're an APC member, and I was hoping you would be glad that your party is gaining traction. You know, with the recent defection in the National Assembly, there's now an increase of the ruling party as the majority party to the tune of 265 members, according to the latest report. Now, do you believe that this is actually helping APC build a stronger democracy? Or do you foresee what many has been actually, I wouldn't say that they've been mulling, but suggesting about, that's one-party system? Are we expecting a one-party system after all? You know, getting to the point where during the general election, all of the other parties will pass the vote of confidence on Mr. President and probably adopt him as their only presidential candidate?
Let me tell you a scenario that is repeating itself. Collapse the one-party system is not possible. Something happened in 2003. Of course, you know that in the whole of
Honorable Chizi.
the West.
Go right on, Honorable Chizi.
It was the compromise. All the way. Yeah, I can hear.
Go ahead, sir.
All right. What happened in 2003? Of course, if you just reflect back, you understand that in 2003, that the party called the AD on the AC there now, you know, then we are swept by the PDP in 2003. And it almost looked like the PDP was going to be one political party in Nigeria. You just know that just after 2003 elections, permutations started changing. You know, the narrative started changing. People started going back to their parties and started forming alliances to be able to do something. That's actually what Nigerians are. You know, I'm a member of the APC, like you said, and I should ordinarily be happy because we want to win election. I can tell you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win the election, whether with or without this person. We already have a sizable majority in the National Assembly. And I can tell you also that Nigerians are not voting for what you are doing. So if we're sure of what we're doing, I'm only saying that even us as a political party, we need opposition to be able to survive. You need a check and balance on us, so we don't become too boastful. I'm too boastful. I mean, we don't become too boastful to be able to do things that may be anti-progressive. And so,
do you think that this defection, Honorable Chizi, it's looking from your own analysis now that this defection is painting APC as somehow systematically weakening the opposition? Is that what you're trying to say? Or is it the failure of opposition parties? Is it coming from their end?
Yes. Let me tell you, I'm saying that every political party, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Every political party, every politician will want to weaken those who will oppose them to be able to get hold to power. I mean, politics is about winning an election. But apart from politics, being a nationalist and a patriotic one at that, I would say that we still need some level of opposition to be able to check our excesses. We need that opposition. But again, whether you like it or yes, there are some states that operate in and around them. But let it be that this defection is based on ideological position other than political survival. That's all I cry for. Because yes, I'm an APC person, and I love the president and want to vote for the president, I want to work for the president. But I want to, if you ask me to choose between the president and Nigeria, one and that, to be able to check our policies, maybe to let us cross our T's and dot our I's in our policy. Because if you have oh yes member, oh yes National Assembly, you have oh yes executives who are also saying oh yes, we are human. The frailty of man is making mistakes. So man will make mistakes, but he needs to have what the Bible says. You need to have a helpmeet, a helpmeet that could say no to this and no to that. It helps you to check that people are watching us, people might want to run an election with us, so let us do better. But the man will relax when he knows that everybody is working for him. But again, the politicians who want to win an election, what do you expect of the politicians? I don't blame the ruling party, I blame the opposition.
Okay, before the 2023 general elections, during the regime, the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari, who happens to be of APC as the incumbent, we didn't record as much defection. As a matter of fact, early defection, as we are witnessing right now. Is there something that you think is a major contributor to this?
Now, see, when a president is going for a second term, it's a different ball game than when a president is ending his tenure. In fact, even within the APC ranks, you begin to see different alternatives, different kind of things coming up on board, because the president is ending his tenure. Was almost ending his tenure. So it looks like every other party wants to win the same election, and even in between in APC there were, of course, there were disagreements because people wants to be president. But right now a president is there who wants to go for second tenure, and most of these governors are also governors who wants to secure second tenure, and so they are all coming together to see whether they can do. Because again, let me also tell you one of the problems that we have here. Am I on?
You're on, Honorable.
Am I on?
Yes,
go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Let me tell you one of the. You see, if you look at the opposition as a community, if you calculate their vote together, got 60% of the votes. That means that if you put Obi's vote, if you put Atiku's vote, if you put Kwankwaso's vote together, they are 60%. Meaning that we at the APC we want 37, but that 37 was enough to be able to win them because those votes were not together. It was depleted amongst Labour Party, PDP, and all of that. Little wonder Tinubu got 12 states, Atiku got 12 states, Obi got 11 plus FCT, which is 12 also, technically speaking. And so if you notice all of that, and then you will understand that why did they deplete? It's because these people were not together. And the possibility of this, even though there is a coalition coming on board, the interest, the people, personal interest of becoming president is overriding the totality of the interest of getting an opposition winning an election. And so they know that. They are beginning to suspect that by the way we are going, from the way we are going, it looks to them that there will not be a coalition that can fight this government. But again, the question I keep asking, I hate for a man who is around the table to begin to complain as if the man is some of us, or us who cannot talk there. If I'm in the place, I will not craft the place to build the place in such a way that we could say, okay, let's have some flexibility and bring parties together. Hear me, I want APC to win in my state, in the federal government, but I want credible opposition. It just makes us human. That's all.
Okay, so you're not for a one-party system after all.
No. I studied political science, and by the grace of God, I used to parade myself. I said, I've gone through the classroom of theoretical politics into the harsh area of practical politics. I studied it. I know it can't be. In fact, that's military government now. It's not good for our polity. It is not good for Nigerian polity. If there's anything I even canvass for, it's a two-party system, where you see credible positions, you just know that you're always on your toe to be able to do something. Because if you don't get somebody watch you do something, we are here. If you, for instance, I'm a married man, of course, you should know that as an old man like me, I should be married. If I don't have a wife who will say no, I will just be doing things that I like. I want to be able to do things and somebody checking on me to say no. This is sometimes they oppose you, sometimes they support you. I mean that gives any quarter you begin to weaken yourself and become Lord.
Honorable Chizi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, just as you mentioned, let's talk about the sustainability of this defection. We see what happened in Labour Party. Some people had joined Labour Party in 2023 so that they could actually get the votes that they needed due to the presence and the influence of the party, the flag bearer in Labour Party, that's P2B. How sustainable is APC's dominance if it is built on more defections other than grassroots support?
Well, I clearly we don't know the difference between defections and grassroots support because you see, whether I mean Christian. So let me use the word. The Bible says the people will come to your light, but the kings will come. Naturally speaking, it is the kings that makes you arise. And why are you called a king? Because you're a leader. For instance, I have people that I have influence over. If I'm going to support you now in any political party, be sure that in Rivers State, for instance, that you will get because I'm supporting you. You see, there are influencers in everything. So it is those kings that comes to a rising that they are picking, and those are the kings that makes things happen because they also have followers. What is the need going to meet 10 persons when one person can bring 20 persons? That's it. That's the calculation.
Now, what would these defections mean for APC? I recall that I don't know if that was confirmed. By the way, at the time that the governor of Delta State defected with his people, there was some sort of squabbles, as in someone who was already there stepping down as the leader of the party in the state. Okay, so if, for instance, Akwa Ibom State governor defects to APC, I would think it would mean the Senate president also stepping down as a national leader, the state's leader of the party. The state's, that's the leader of the party in the state. Okay, so, we're going to have these changes. There's been lineup, and then these other new people are coming in. What exactly would be the impact on the party?
Let me tell you, Akwa Ibom is a very bad example because if she's in Akwa Ibom, let me tell you certainly, the man who is going to join the APC already had told you that he's following his leader. So he knows, even as governor, he knows that Ababio is his leader. Ababio is the number 3 citizen of this country. So there's no way the governor will be his leader. It's not possible. That is strict. That is a strict one. You don't even need to argue. The governor knows that Ababio is the leader of the APC, and even if he joins Ababio is his leader. Don't forget that Ababio was once the governor of the same state, and that the same person served as one of the SAs or commissioner. Don't also forget that Ababio today is the Senate president, the number 3 citizen of this great country. I mean, there is no argument about that. Yeah, it's some states that might be, but for this, but before those kind of negotiations starts, let me shock you that those negotiations starts from certain level of leaders who know that they will pay certain sacrifice to be able to win. Theirs is to win election. Ababio knows that the governor coming in means that he is coming to power, coming back as a senator is clear. The governor knows that will mean also that he is coming clearly and they are winning the presidency. And Ababio needs to win in Akwa Ibom to be able to retain his Senate presidency. So you see, Ababio wants to add other senators from Ababio because he also needs votes. He also needs vote as the Senate the chambers to be able to retain his position as Senate president. So they know that Akwa Ibom like I said, it's another case. Akwa Ibom is doing it because they want to retain that seat as Senate president, and so they are doing it. You couldn't have used that as an example. Yes, for states like Delta, the question will be, which of the APC kingpin in Delta is that nationally strong that will outweigh the current governor? That's the question. You will know whether you like it or yes. You will know that a state that has the governor, has assembly members as PDP, has local government as PDP, that you do nothing other than handing over the leadership to the man who has. That's what politics is. You give the leadership to the man who has the people, or who has to bear. Who does that? Who will come and spend his or her money or in anything or energy in giving to somebody who will bring less impact or less energy into the whole thing? These guys are going to add impetus, a whole lot of impetus. If you count in the Niger Delta, for instance, especially in the South, it looks like the South is already taken. Look at Edo State is now APC, Delta State is APC right now. Akwa Ibom has joined the line. Then Cross River State is APC, and of course, River State, where we are here, is teaching towards APC. And I mean that means that South is taken. So for a zone that throws more votes, then it means the APC is cruising home, especially in this part of the world.
Honorable Chizi, what would do you foresee any potential challenges within the APC? I'm talking of the fact that they are absorbing such number of defectors, people that come from different political parties and have political loyalties, different political loyalties as well.
You know what you will give to Tinubu? I can tell you that from this present, from when we started in 1999 now, Tinubu is the first politician to become president. When I mean politician.
The rest of the presidents were not politicians.
Hello?
The rest of the presidents were not politicians.
No, in that sense, quote now, Obasanjo was a military general who just came in and was voted in. After Obasanjo, of course, he had a brief thing. He was a governor, but Congress couldn't let him. Then Jonathan became. You just knew that these persons were not. When I mean politician, Tinubu has been in the crucible of politics. He is one politician. The likes of Tinubu, the only match to Tinubu is like somebody like Atiku. Those who have been in that like wicked. Like Amechi, those are the persons that could match those kind of things. And when a politician is steering this ship, he knows how to manage it. For instance, let me tell you, in bringing on board the people that he supported Ababio, who came from the PDP to become Senate president. He has other APC members who renew. But you understand that those APC members will not have the courage that Abacha will have. I mean, the kind of influence that Ababio will have. Today, FT minister is on the PDP. He's working with him. So Tinubu has that kind of political will. He has a lot of political will to be able to manage this whole complexity. Trust me on that. If it's on that, forget it with Tinubu. He knows how to manage them. Just forget it.
Honorable Chizi, I'm skeptical about asking you these questions, but I just have to go ahead. Let's talk about the coalition. The coalition efforts. I don't know what your thoughts are, if they're going to be formidable enough to be a strong, a viable opposition during the 2027 election. And do you also, or are we ruling out the kind of wave that Peter Obi came with during that particular, during the recent general election? Honorable Chizi.
I didn't get that Afrobeat.
Okay, I said.
Yeah, I get it, but I didn't get when you said about the.
I said, do you foresee that kind of wave repeating? It's being recreated during the 2027 election.
Yeah, you see,
Though I know you're going to be somewhat biased, Honorable Chizi.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but did you hear what I said?
Yeah, whether I foresee that kind of momentum that will be carried into that.
How much factual are you going to be in answering this question to start with?
What?
Are you going to tell us the whole truth? And
nothing but the
truth.
I am not. See, when I answer question, I am not partisan in doing that. I'm more professional in answering my question. I said the truth.
Okay, go ahead.
I said the truth. Maybe that's why I'm not so rich, because it looks like people don't like the truth. The truth is this. Hello.
Go ahead, Honorable Chizi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
can
go
you hear me?
on.
Can you hear me? Okay, the truth is this. I have said it times that number. Obi wouldn't have won election as Obi. Like Kwankwaso win at Kwankwaso. They must come together to be able to win an election. But the first problem that will come up now is who is going bearer of that. Means that everybody who is going to that coalition wants to be president. And that's going to be the worst thing that will happen to them. They must all kill their ambition first to be able to do something. Maybe they will go to make much inroads if they come together. And of course, that's exactly what should happen. Again, the fear is, while you are trying to do that at your level, certain governors are filtering away to the APC. They begin to understand. So from which structures are you going to even use to do that? Now, you talked about Akwa Ibom, you talked about all of these things. Yes, the masses are still there. They must also give us a clear, definable agenda, practical, visible. And if the people can come together to say, okay, what that will happen.
There's this other issue. I know that APC is not the worst hit when it comes to this defection, this gale of defection. But then there are still some disgruntled members in the APC. First off, we saw the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, defecting and somewhat initiating a conversation for a coalition or a merger. And then there are others still in the party who came with the former President Muhammadu Buhari from CPC, also, making some requests. I don't know how that was handled, but then it's also looking like in the nearest future, some APC members may carpet cross, or you don't think so?
Is that what you're praying for us?
I'm not a prayer warrior.
Well, let me say, when you say carpet crossing, it's not just a monolithic thing. It's not just coming from the APC or from the PDP to the APC. There are also APC members who are even in Akwa Ibom who will not like what has happened and will go back to the other coalition.
And that
just
was why I asked you that question.
It happens.
What the impact it will have in the public? Don't you think it will? These defections will also increase agitations in the party?
That's what I'm saying. That it will normally, naturally, that's politics. Naturally, people will be agitated. If not for this version, there are persons in APC, for instance, in Akwa Ibom. I'm using Akwa Ibom in this instance now. There are people in APC in Akwa Ibom who has the ambition of running for governor. And this defection will automatically mean that they will not run again. So they will have to go to the other party, the coalition, to form a coalition. So it's just going to be crisscrossing, until maybe like early next year, where the INEC will give a ban to one of those things. We will still keep getting that. All I'm saying is that everybody should sit down and do, arrange their house, whether it can be accommodated. Do you know whether they will take me as their presidential candidate? So who knows?
But this other issue that I raised before we deviated, the issue of APC members also thinking of finding ground in some other political party.
That's what I'm saying. Malam El-Rufai was a Kaduna State governor under APC, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's part of this. Yeah, he's part of this whole thing. Look at the Labour Party. Obi is of the Labour Party. He's also leaving Labour Party for ADC, isn't it? That's why I said there are so many other. There are people that I know, senators and former governors, especially that I know of the APC that is going to that coalition. Trust me on this. I know them.
Okay.
I know they are doing that. Yeah. So it's not that.
Okay, continue. Don't worry, continue.
So it's not a one-way issue. It's going to come from either. It's going to affect every other side. Because if you accept this other person, there are people who will not accept that person and go back to the other coalition to find their interest, to fulfill their aspiration. So to find expression to their aspiration, who would want to stay and not if the vehicle you are boarding to Lagos, for instance, goes to Ofa or wherever and says and suddenly decides that he's not going to Lagos again, you have to alert and go back to a vehicle that's going to where you want to go to. So that's actually what's going to be happening. Even in the National Assembly, you begin to see certain persons also come back to this other. Let me tell you what happened. Remember that the former governor of Sokoto, if you notice, once he went to the APC, he was going to fly the flag of APC. He was thinking that he was going to be in the APC. All of a sudden, he detoured again and came back to PDP and became governor. I don't know if you understand that.
Are you talking about
Tambuwal? There's going to be that. There's going to be that left-right thing until maybe just some months to the election.
Honorable Chizi, I believe that if there are no voters, there's definitely no election, obviously. Let's talk about the impact that this might have on the electorate's mindsets. How would the voters perceive this defection, and how will it affect their trust in political parties ahead of the next general elections?
Very negligible percentage of the people, of the electorates, go for the party. They actually go for their influencer. The individual, their influencer. I told you earlier on that by the grace of God, that today if I say I'm supporting the APC as I'm supporting the APC, that one of 5,000 persons in River State will vote for the APC, I already know their numbers and names. So if I decide to go to the coalition, the same way they would say they will go to the coalition. So the electorates are actually, they are sheep, they follow their shepherd. They follow their shepherd. That's what people understand. It's biblical. Like I said, I said it's biblical. The Bible says the people shall rise to your light, shall come to your light. But the leaders will come to your rising. When it is election or rising, it is the leaders. It is those who lead because they are the influencers. They are the influencers. The man who influences 10 persons is greater than the man who has only one vote. So the electorate, psych is dependent on the influencers. I can tell you that for free. Anybody who is saying otherwise is deceiving his or herself. I know what it takes. If you can't, for instance, a week will switch over votes to the party that he is, because he has a lot of influence on people. He has a lot of influence on people. So when you have people who have influence and that is the person you are going for, what else? For instance, if a church wants my family to worship in that church, if the church invites me, there is a likelihood that my family will go to that church. But if they go to begin to talk to one of my small boy, well, the boy might come, Daddy, will go to church one day, and I said, no, let's go to here. He didn't talk about influencer. So that's what electorates are.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chizi Nyeomasila, for joining our conversation this evening.
Far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.